Welcome to Ignite Visibility University Interview Edition, where we learn from the top marketers in the world, what drives them, their mistakes, their wins, and secrets to success. This podcast is brought to you by Ignite Visibility, one of the top digital marketing agencies in the nation.
Hey, Ignite Visibility listeners. Hope you're doing well. Today I have Tamara Yarovoy, who is here, and she is coming to us from her position where she is a senior digital marketing manager at Meltwater. And her specialties are digital and global marketing, demand generation, search marketing, SEM, SEO, PPC. So a lot of the same stuff that I love to do. I'm so excited to have her here today. Tamara, how are you doing today? And what's going on with you today?
Hey, doing really well, staying busy in ever-evolving marketing realm. I guess that's how we're all navigating nowadays. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So you are the senior digital marketing manager. I would love to hear just a little bit about that role. What does your kind of like day-to-day look like there?
Yeah. So currently in my role, I oversee all our digital lead generation programs and growth. Meltwater is actually a global media intelligence company that has over 30,000 clients with 55 global offices worldwide. So it's a very big mix of the programs that we run here when it comes to just digital marketing in general.
Wow, that seems like a pretty big, endeavor to be a part of. And I've followed your stuff online. I absolutely love the updates and kind of the energy you bring to things. Do you guys have a fairly large team there? Are you lean and mean?
We are lean and mean. Although we are a very large company, our marketing team runs almost like we are in like a startup world, which is what I like. I'm always fast-paced, moving, as marketing is. So I like the rhythm that we have currently and the dynamics of the team.
I absolutely love it when it's lean and mean. I feel like you get to touch more things, kind of make more of an impact, be more of a part of, the marketing environment. So for me, working in different marketing departments and stuff over the years, I always loved it when I got to kind of get in there and get my hands dirty, so to speak, and really affect the marketing. So
yeah, I agree with you 100%. This is why I'm with Meltwater here today.
Awesome. So, one of the things I always like to learn about people who are in, fantastic positions like you is how did you get there and what kind of drives you to do what you do every day?
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's very simple. I started studying marketing and international business back in college. And then during my time in college, actually, my dad was brave enough to start his little business back in Serbia, where I'm originally from. So as a sophomore and junior in college, I started kind of tinkering with, website design and consumer behavior. Since, you get this education in college, but then you never get the chance to do practical. So my dad's side of the business, as one single entrepreneur, he needed help from marketing side, obviously. So I took that upon myself and then built the entire marketing and brand for my family business. That's essentially how I got my hands involved in marketing. And then from there, I just got the first job, moved out from college town and into marketing agency. And I never looked back. That's all of it. When it comes to like what really drives me every day, I would just say personal curiosity and what I call athlete's mentality, where I'm just simply trying to do my best personally and professionally to improve little by little every day.
I just feel like, consistent growth is so important in our field lately. You always have to be learning, always have to be studying. I mean, what does your process look like for that? I mean, do you just comb the news a little bit every day? Do you try things on your own? How do you kind of stay up to date?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you touch on marketing updates, especially touching digital on your LinkedIn every week. So that's one of the ways how I digest information. And as you mentioned, almost every week we have Google algorithm changes, weekly almost, I feel. And then there are big things that are shifting as AI and voice search and just trying to stay on the top, dedicating time on my calendar and being organized about it. I think it's very easy just to fall into those, action items that we have to do in our job, but we sometimes forget education is part of it. So if I get invited to an event, thankfully in San Francisco, there's so many of those that are free and walking distance. So you can just go for an hour during lunch break and, learn something new. So I'm trying my best to really devote the time on monthly basis, weekly basis, just to keep up and always stay curious, right? To talk with my peers in the industry and see if I may be missing something, right? Or if I can learn something new that I can improve in the programs currently running.
That's great. You live in San Francisco. There are so many events there, in our field. It's just a great place to be with how tech heavy, the city is. And, one of the things that I find really interesting nowadays, and thanks for watching the weekly updates and everything, but, even when I do those updates, I always think to myself, oh, wow, here's 5 more things that you could do. And the next week, here's another 5 things you could do. And there's just so many ways to do marketing right now. So I feel like strategy is more important than ever. And, I would ask you, running your program and just in general, like where are you seeing some of the biggest successes right now in marketing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So currently, since I'm in B2B space mainly, I would say that the most potential and the success I have been seeing is with digital generally. However, traditional marketing, I feel is almost kind of coming back. So if incorporated with digital, it can be super successful.
Oh, so you think traditional's making a comeback, huh? So almost like a retro comeback from TV and billboards again?
Well, not necessarily TV and billboards. I would say basically, like I remember being in B2C in real estate once. I was in marketing in real estate industry. And, I was advising against like print advertising. I was so, no, everything needs to be going digital, shift the budgets, let's do this. And now I'm kind of incorporating like printed pieces and gifts,
Yes.
with digital. And I'm making a lot of impact. So that's what I really meant about traditional, more on a printed side, something that's tangible. Because, for example, emails nowadays are getting so cluttered, right? To get to people, it's getting harder and harder. So I feel like, having events, having that one-on-one time or, sending a gift or a package, something nicely put together that can follow with digital campaigns, can be super successful.
Oh, Tamara, thank you so much for saying that. Ignite Visibility listeners, I think you just got an awesome piece of information from a true expert. So in the B2B space, when you want to impact big clients like Tamara does, sometimes it's much better to do something physical, send them something physical, get in front of them, follow up with a phone call, nurture that relationship, and then of course, try to get them into some digital program like a remarketing sequence or sending Facebook ads, to a mailing list that you have of these customers. So I really love that. And that's just, the B2B side, you don't want to just be spraying advertising everywhere. You want to be a lot more targeted. So Tamara, I think that's a really, really great point. A nice package showing you care to a targeted customer. That's a really, really good idea for your space. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, anytime. I'm just excited about it, I believe. And, that's where, as a marketer, you always ask yourself, well, what's keeping you excited, right? So for me, currently it's ABM and voice search. However, I'm not going to cover voice search generally, since I think you are doing a terrific job at sharing on your weekly LinkedIn update posts what's happening at voice and where is marketing taking place in the next 2, 3, 5 years. And I believe you also wrote on Search Engine Land covering that topic. So if anyone needs more info on voice search, please talk to John or follow John and you'll get a lot of info.
So let's talk about ABM a little bit, because this has been something that has been more and more important even for my business as we've grown. We're nowhere near the size of you guys, but we do have maybe 160 clients, and then we've kind of got some that are really, really big. And so talk to me about ABM and your process for doing that and why it's important for your business. I'd love to hear more about it and just learn about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So ABM stands for account-based marketing, and it's actually not a new concept. In fact, it has been around for a while. However, in the last few years, it has been picking up marketers' attention. What excites me the most is basically pairing ABM and intent data to drive pipeline growth. I'm actually that kind of marketer that gets excited once I successfully increase quality of leads that are coming in, and I get my sales team all on board and excited and happy. And as a result, I personally can enjoy seeing increased average contract value, which I have seen some success with, and has been keeping me excited about the programs I run. I think there is a large shift in mentality that marketers need to make. For example, to capture a larger pool of potential prospects, getting to them earlier in the decision-making process, instead of actually waiting on those contact us forms to come in. Marketers need to be more proactive, in my recommendation, and start relying on engagement data and intent to recognize trends and segment audiences so we can capture a larger pool of buyers, enable sales, and not wait on prospects to self-identify themselves so much like they would do in a traditional way by filling in a form or going to website and requesting a demo or pricing.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I love that idea of putting the information out there, seeing who engages with it. That engagement then becomes almost like a micro conversion that gets them into a funnel. And that's a lot of how we actually approach our Facebook marketing here and our social marketing, is because, you want to get the message out there and see who engages. A lot of it is not search-based. It's not people looking for things, but it's people who are noticing things and then realizing they want it and then nurturing them. So it sounds like that you are leveraging these first and third party intent signals. Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing there and why you're excited about that.
Yeah, so currently, like you mentioned, we are leveraging the data and intent signals we are getting to basically orchestrate buying experience, and as a result, generate higher average deal sizes. So there are a few ways how we are going about it. Currently, first-party intent data can be accessed through basically Google Analytics or Marketo or any platform that marketers use internally. For the third-party intent data, they can come from a vendor. I currently use it from a tool that I'm using to run my ABM programs.
Interesting. Yeah, that's great stuff. So, in addition to that, I know that you've been putting some work into personalizing the buying experience and trying to do that by whatever the actual intent topic is. So how does that play into this system?
Yeah, that's basically all based on activity performed. So monitoring engagement and specific activity from accounts that are being targeted. And once engagement reaches a certain level, it basically gets passed to sales. However, a lot of marketers, I feel, stop at the sales level. Like as soon as the sales picks it up, like marketing almost forgets about them. However, in the programs we are running here, we are, following the sales cycle and then optimizing basically the based on intent that programs that are moving and then how we are moving them along in the pipeline. So from the start of the sales cycle, marketing continues to support sales with different campaigns. And sometimes they're digital and sometimes they're printed, like I mentioned earlier. It really depends on the segment of the audience we are working with and what their needs or interests and responses are.
Absolutely love that nurturing sequence. And we've done stuff like that too, as far as, sending somebody a book, hitting them with some ads, an email automation sequence. I always like to get clients a big gift basket right when they sign up, just because I'm happy. That's even after they started. Just let the customer know that like you care, you're in it for the long run. That this is a targeted thing. We really want to work with you. We're going to be a good partner, and we're going to show you that. That's how you guys are approaching it too. That's really just refreshing to hear, and I love that you're kind of doing it that way. So shifting gears just a little bit, I remember, when we first connected a while ago, we were talking about tracking, and I've talked to a lot of people about tracking lately. And in fact, the next podcast that's going to be coming out, or one of the podcasts that's going to be coming out, is with somebody from Qualcomm, and they were even having some tracking issues. So what I wanted to ask you about is, biggest pain points for marketers today. Is tracking one of them? Do you have other ones? What are some of the problems that we need to kind of solve together?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm glad you're covering tracking, because without tracking, there is no ROI of marketing. And then if you want to, you prove the value in the company, I think it comes down to ROI. So I would say the biggest pain points are basically three things, at least in my case, which is tracking, attribution, and dealing just with dirty data.
Yeah, absolutely. And so on those points, and it sounds like you did get that kind of figured out and you've got that going, but when you're tracking even the offline stuff, and just since we're talking about it, I mean, how are you tracking that? Are you tracking it based off of calls? If clients reference it, just as simple as that?
Well, it gets a little bit tricky. So we need to, collect all that information and kind of unify it, since, we never know how person decides to convert, right? Via phone call, or is it form, or how are they going to simply send an email to sales directly, let's say. So there are tools that are currently helping us track. So for example, for packages, you have a tracking that basically sends a signal in CRM when the packages is received, and then sales can add, like, let's say, next point of touch, if that is like however strategy is put together. And follow-up continues along the funnel. So there are programs that can help in that essence, that can help us on daily day-to tasks, which were more manual back in the day and not really reliable.
That sounds like a great system. And so Ignite Visibility listeners, you just got a great tip on B2B targeting and kind of one of the best ways to take a look at it. So shifting gears just a little bit. So there's been a lot of new innovations in marketing, and the innovations seem to just keep coming. And I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, but one of the ones, for example, I've seen is push notifications. I'm seeing a lot of people do push notifications now. We started really making a push for that, pun intended, recently. And we're getting thousands and thousands of subscribers for ourselves and clients, and some great click-through rates. I mean, that's just one example of things. But what are you excited about, like, innovation-wise? I know the ABM's working for you, but is there any like new shiny object type of thing that you're thinking about testing outside of ABM and voice search?
Yeah. So, personally, like I mentioned, I'm trying to follow and stay current with trends. So I am actually excited about what AI can do and how can really help us to automate marketing day-to-day tasks. So, for example, call tracking can be an example I can use in this essence. So for a lot of marketers, call tracking can be a manual task where you listen to a call that, come in, and then if quality is there, you collect all the info and you push it in CRM. However, with voice recognition and AI taking place, these tasks became, I guess, more automated. AI can currently help us analyze call experiences and conversions at scale. So uncovering actionable insight and then automatically pushing that information into CRM is, helping marketers to stay away from those manual tasks, which is, I guess, super nice. So we can spend our time on some other aspects instead of, some that require more day-to-day tracking.
And do you think, you're talking about AI. One of the main places I'm seeing AI show up, or people try to make AI show up, is of course in the voice search, and we won't go into that, but also in chatbots for websites. I mean, just as a marketer in general, like what is your interest level in like some type of AI driven chatbot? Do you think that that's something that you're going to try to push for your company, or do you feel like it's not something you are?
We are actually utilizing that to some extent. Our company is heavily invested in AI in a few companies in the last few years. So even our platform, Meltwater platform, relies on AI quite a bit. So for example, for PR, comms, and even digital marketing people, you have media mentions that come in, and then assigning if the mention was negative, positive, or neutral is a pretty much, Google Doc kind of manual task. At Meltwater, we can use that information and then learn from data that's coming in, and then assign, is it neutral, positive, or negative mention that came in, and how is that really, shaping brand's perspective and capturing the share of voice a company can have.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, I think, new things that are really coming into the marketing mix, definitely chatbots, definitely voice search. I think push notifications are really exciting. I don't know how long-lived the push notifications are going to be. Facebook Messenger, that I'm seeing some people do well with that. And, and then there's, in the advertising side, there's so many different new audiences that are coming in, and so many different new ways to advertise and social sites. So, there's a lot. And so I would wonder, when, you're kind of structuring your marketing plan towards the end of this year and next year, I mean, how do you go about that planning process? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, first, we take data and analyze what worked, and definitely take a look at things that didn't work. Then we take a perspective from like revenue, what has helped us to generate the highest revenue for the company in general. And then we try to align company's goals in which area we want to grow with our strategy for 2020. That's kind of how we are approaching it at the moment, so that we are all aligned across the board, and you don't have different teams doing X, Y, Z, because in a larger company it can be it can be a challenging task. You have a product, you have product marketing, you have marketing, and then you have a company, right? What are we trying to achieve as a company? So staying aligned and communicating about the products that are coming in, and aligning strategy. That's kind of how we go about it. But it really starts with revenue in general.
Absolutely a perfect answer. I love that answer. You said it briefly, but I mean, and I've heard different companies describe their planning processes in so many different ways, but that's exactly how anybody should be doing it. So thanks for sharing that with us. I always like to know, from guests on Ignite Visibility University, so outside of kind of the marketing side, what are you most excited about in your life right now? What's anything big going on or exciting that you wanted to talk about today?
I don't know. That's a hard question. It's Friday. I would say, the opportunity to learn and grow, with all these things that are happening daily, and changing the marketing as an industry. I'm just excited to be a part of it, and, indulge, I guess, with all the information and tips that we can get to improve and learn, and be the best version of ourselves we can be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's the most exciting time ever for our field. And I hope everybody feels that passion from you. They feel that passion from me. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was really like SEO, email, and a little bit of paid stuff. And now everything is just ballooning. And I just feel like with knowledge becomes power to positively impact businesses. And it sounds like you kind of feel the same way. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I am 100% with you on that. I think if we are all improving together and we share our expertise, we are collectively as a group getting better, right? So that's why I appreciate, everything you're doing, because you're sharing so much through different channels, podcast or LinkedIn as a platform where you have your weekly updates. And I think it's very important just to, have marketers, surround yourself with the marketers who you believe are experts in their fields, and, get them a coffee or get them on Zoom and just like brainstorm and see, hey, I'm really stuck. I would love to get your thoughts on how are you going about this? Am I missing something? Did I not learn something? Is there something that it's available and I don't know about it? So I think it's super important that we continue to do that.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that about me. I think there's a lot of people who can learn a lot from you as well. I mean, running the program that you are. So Ignite Visibility listeners, I want all of you to, definitely follow Tamara and then try to find out, more information from her as she posts things online. Tamara, are you doing any content marketing or anything now? Or are you sharing information, or are you kind of are you not doing anything public facing as far as marketing stuff? I mean, where can people find out more about you and follow you online?
Yeah, I think the best platform for that would be LinkedIn. I plan on writing more LinkedIn articles this year. So that's in a pipeline, some of them touching on intent or ABM programs in general, but generally digital. And so for anyone who is interested in connecting further, LinkedIn would be their best bet.
Awesome. All right, everybody. You heard it from Tamara. You can follow her on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being on Ignite Visibility University today. I absolutely loved those strategies. I mean, I think we got into some great stuff and people are really going to appreciate it. So thanks so much and have a great day and talk to you soon.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me today.